This podcast is dedicated to all those people out there who work so hard, but feel as though they're not getting the recognition or the appreciation for the work that they do. So this is for you. This one is for you. Hey peeps, I'm Rick Roberts, and this is Rick Roberts Like the podcast, where we talk about my faith, my thoughts, my life. And today is Motivation Monday, and this podcast is dedicated to all those people out there who work so hard, but feel as though they're not getting the recognition or the appreciation for the work that they do. So this is for you. This one is for you. I know what it's like, and I can understand and I can empathize to putting so much work, so much effort, so much of yourself into a task, and you feel as though once you have delivered it, that people do not receive it in a way that makes you feel as though it was appreciated. It is one of those things where when you pour yourself out because someone's requested something of you, or because you feel like there's a need that needs to be filled, and you do not get the response back that you're hoping for, it can be very deflating. It can be one of those things that makes you wonder, why did I waste my time? And it can drain you if you do not view it properly. Now, once again, this is one of those things where it's easier said than done. It's one of those things where it's a maturing process. You know, when you're young in what you're looking to do, you don't quite have that mindset to be able to say, you know what, it's part of the process. Sometimes you're in your feelings and you get, upset, you get emotional about it, and you say, you know what, that's it. I'm not working with these people. I'm not doing this again because no one appreciated it last time. And trust me, this is a natural response. I understand it. I've felt that way before. And if you are like nodding your head saying, yes, you're right, I feel that right now, these people are driving me nuts, then, you're the one that I'm talking to. This is a natural response. So the question is, what do we do with these feelings? What do we do to not feel like this again? This is not easy. I'm letting you know, this is not going to be easy. And don't click off of here because it's not going to be easy. Don't change to another podcast or something. Just hang in there with me. Let's see if we can get to something together. Sometimes we inflate ourselves a bit more than what we think. What you need to do is try to take your feelings out and really look at the work that you did. Okay? Now, seriously, look at the work that you did. How good did you deliver? Now, I know you're giving yourself maybe slack here. Sometimes I give myself credit for certain things and say, you know what? I had this going on, I had that going on, and I still delivered this, but people didn't respond like that. And, what I've had to do is I had to look at what is the industry standard. When people are looking for a particular result, when they're paying an X amount of money for what it is that I'm doing, they are expecting this. And sometimes when they don't get that, regardless of all the obstacles and hoops that you've jumped through, if you do not deliver that and you give them something else, they probably won't respond the way that you're hoping that they will. And so let me just say that again, simpler. You need to compare what it is you're doing with those who are earning that money that you're requesting. If you're saying you want $5,000, you need to make sure that yours is $5,000 valued in the industry, that somebody would be willing to pay that and be happy about it. The next thing I want to say is, not everyone is willing to pay that $5,000 for what you did. It's just not, if it was that way, then you'd be a billionaire. They're not. Not everyone is willing to pay that. So what does that mean? It means that you need to find your right audience. If you find that the work that you did, the style, the flair you put to it wasn't appreciated, then it means that you might not have done that for the right audience. So who was it that you actually gave this to? Who is the audience that received what it is that you did? Maybe they're not into that. Maybe they're into something else. Maybe they're into something a bit more traditional. You need to look at and see what is the actual taste of the audience that you're delivering it to. Because here's the thing, and this is something that's hard for me. I'm not doing it to deliver it to myself. I'm delivering it to an audience. And so just because I like it and I say, oh, that's sweet, that's cool, it's not for me. It's for them. And so I have to see what happened for them to not feel that same way, to appreciate it that same way, how I thought it was going to be received. Because I could have, swung for the trees and hit the weeds. And so, did you deliver it to the right audience? Are you aiming your stuff towards the right audience? If not, then you need to readjust. Either readjust for the audience that's in front of you, or be willing to put the work in for the audience that you want. Now, if you're just starting out and you are working a part-time job and you're trying to do this and you're investing money in and money is super tight, which is most of us, you're going to probably have to do a bit of both. You have to work with the audience that's in front of you, and you have to also do another side hustle to target the ones that's right for you. Because sometimes you need to have a little bit of money trickling in whilst you're pursuing your actual audience. Okay? And so that means you have to have that expectation and that maturity to know this is what you're doing. But if you don't have that mindset to know that this is what you're doing, you're going to continue to get burned and you're going to be very upset, and you might even grow bitter with this project. Another reason why someone may not appreciate your work is because you might not really appreciate your work yourself. If you do not appreciate yourself and who you are and what it is that you actually do, when people talk to you, they're going to get the sense that what you're doing isn't that valuable. It isn't that significant. It's not a high value. I'm not saying it's not valuable at all, but I'm saying that it's not a high value. And so they don't receive it that way. And so what I want you to do is I want you to continue to be humble, but be confident. If you don't talk confidently, if you don't act confidently when you're talking about the work that you've done, people are going to think that it was nothing. But if you say, hey, you know what, we did this, we did that, we actually compiled all this information to actually bring this together, to present it like this, then they're hearing, oh, wait, this person actually put some work in. This actually sounds like this is actually something very high quality, and I'm lucky to have this, because I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to think like that. I wouldn't be able to find that research that way to come up with that spin. And so sometimes you have to show your work. Show your work. Let them see the value of the brand that you're presenting. Let them see the value of who you are and the work that you do, so that way they can appreciate what it is that they're getting, because they may not realize that they're getting a great result from you, and they can't get that from anyone else. They can't just get that from anybody else. And so you need to let them know that, hey, I may be humble, but I'm also talented, I'm also skilled, and this is a great product you're getting. This is a great result you're getting from me. And so let them know. Don't be afraid to let them know that, hey, they're getting a deal. They're getting a bargain. They need to keep you around because this is a top execution. Realize that you are giving them a great result. And let them feel that you are giving them a great result. Say, hey, we did this, we did that. We're blessed that it's coming out this way. I made sure that it's going to come out this way. The way that it usually comes out is this, but I made sure it came out like this because we, need to have it like this. And when they see the difference between the average and your standard, they're going to look at that gap and say, oh, I get it. Educate them a little bit. Let them see what it takes to come into that work. What used to irritate me was when I would take pictures and I'd show people my work, they'd say, oh, wow, you have a great camera. You have a great camera. All my photographers out there, my videographers out there, you have a great camera. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Let me give you my camera. Let's see what you can do with my camera. You're going to have some crappy shots. And, it's because it's more than just the camera. The camera is the tool, because I know about lighting. I know about the different aspects that makes a great image, composition, and all that jazz, whereas someone who's just holding a camera and pressing the button, they don't understand the thing behind it to get a consistent good result. And so with that, I can have confidence that when I'm going to do photography, when I'm going to do public speaking, when I'm going to do fitness, when I'm going to do presentations, that I can stand up there and know that it's going to be a good, consistent result where they're going to have a unique experience with me. Whereas someone else who's coming to try to just step in my shoes and fill in for the day, it's going to be all over the place. And so I say this to you to encourage you to let people know a little bit more what goes on behind the curtain. Let them know that, hey, you do have me, but you are lucky to have me. I chose to work with you. I didn't have to work with you. I'm not just chasing money. I'm choosing to find the right people I can build a working relationship with. And that's the mentality that we have to come with. We're not chasing money. Now, I know some of us, we're tight on money and we need to have money coming in. But deep down inside, we're looking for the quality working relationships that we can build with. And so you're choosing who you're going to work with. You're not just working with anybody. And that's what I need you to communicate, either verbally or non-verbally. As you're moving around, let them feel this presence of, they chose to work with me, and this is what they're bringing to the table, and I need to bring a similar thing to the table as well to be able to balance this out. Because this person's delivering, and I need to deliver too. That's the persona you want to bring. Be careful what you're doing. Be careful who you're around. Be careful how you present yourself, and make sure that you find your right audience to be able to deliver for, so that way they appreciate you. So that way you can feel like you're getting the value for the work that you're doing. Another thing that you can do if you feel like people are taking you for granted is actually talk to them. Let them know how hard you're actually working, because sometimes people don't get that you're actually really busy. And when they see you give them the finished product, they don't realize that you actually had to do quite a bit to deliver it. Because sometimes, if it's inside our skill set, if it's inside our gifts, we can at times make it look effortless, but deep down inside, it actually cost us a little bit of stress to actually get there. But the way that we delivered it, it looks like it was effortless. And so sometimes you need to have that dialogue, that communication, that these people are putting so much on you and they're not giving you the credit, the respect that you deserve for what it is that they're asking of you. Because like I said, unfortunately, people don't realize that you're working hard. People don't realize that this is actually weighing on you because you make it look effortless. And, I get that problem. Not to sound conceited, but I get that problem because sometimes when I do public speaking, when I deliver something, when I present, when I do my fitness classes, I make it look like it's just so easy or natural for me, but I've actually had to think about it for quite some time. I've actually had to wrestle with it in my mind, on paper, in the background, to be able to get up to do that in front of these people. And so some people don't know what it takes to make the sausage. You have to let them know that, hey, you have to hunt this thing down to get there. And if you're a vegan, I'm sorry for the analogy. If you don't eat pork, I'm sorry for the analogy. It's just the best one I can think of at the moment, But the work behind the curtain, people don't always see it and they don't get it. And unless you show them your work, they're not going to appreciate how hard it was for you to actually do the work to get that result. And so, yes, you are doing a good job. You're doing so well that people think that it's nothing for you to do and it's irritating you. And that's a good problem to have. So hang in there, continue to persevere, continue to get through it. You will get through it. This is what I keep saying to myself, I will get through. I will survive. So hang in there. You can do this. Has this group gotten so used to how amazing you are that they're starting to take you for granted? And that's some of the audience out there as well, where you have been with them for such a long time, you have been delivering to such a high standard time and time again, that they get used to this great quality product that you're producing, and they're no longer gushing over you, and you're saying, you know what, I'm putting so much energy in, but I'm not getting that much energy back. In fact, I feel like they're draining me more than anything else. I need to pull back. If that is what you feel, you might need to get some distance. You might need to let someone else kind of get in there and, shake things up a little bit. Sometimes you got to do that, where you got to get some new people in. And also, here's the beauty. If you're mentoring people, and if you're not, you need to try to find a way to get into this. Find someone to call out their greatness. Find someone where you can say, look, I see that you want to do this. If you're blessed, they'll come and approach you, that they want to do similar to what you're doing. You're going to train them, and you're going to give them an opportunity. After you show them, you demonstrate, you're going to give them an opportunity to grow by doing it. And as they see them they're going to respect that you're growing someone, and they're going to give you enough of a break where they can actually come in there, be a little bit of a breath of fresh air, and then when you come back, they're happy to have you back home. So we have to find the right balance of addressing the right audience, training someone up to be able to come in and to give you a little bit of a break and to give them a break from you, to be able to miss you some distance. And when you come back, they'll appreciate you all the more. If you feel like you're not getting the appreciation that you deserve, sometimes you got to find the right audience. Sometimes you have to find a way to distance yourself. Sometimes you have to realize that maybe the audience that you're talking to isn't the one that you think you're talking to. You have to properly identify who it is that you're talking to and presenting to be able to get the results that you want. This one's a hard one. I had to swallow this pill. I was saying to myself, you know what? I'm not getting the numbers I want for my views. I'm not getting the results that I'm expecting. And I said, you know what? I need to pay my dues. I need to be willing to have my low slumps to be able to have a bedrock for my work to be based upon. And that way, when people really start to understand my style, really get into who I am, when I find my right audience, they'll have the ability to go back and to have a whole body of work to look at, to binge watch, to be able to get information from that will help launch me forward and tie us closer together. And that's the beauty of it. The work that you're doing now is preparation for the work you're going to do in the future. It's building a foundation for the people that you're going to bless in the future. And so you have to have that mindset to continue to keep working hard, not for them, but for the future people that you're looking to reach out for. Okay? Now, like I said, this is all more mature stuff. This is like grown person stuff. This is not like young infant stuff. This is grown, mature person thing. So, here's what I'm reaching out for you. I know you feel unappreciated. I know you feel like you're doing all this work and people are taking you for granted. I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not going to be the only one who's feel this. This is not going to be the only time you feel this. But I want you to take a mindset that's going to help you to readjust and to not feel exploited as much in the future. I actually did a study on the Good Samaritan this weekend, and there were loads of great lessons there. You know, the whole thing was about learning to find eternal life. But one of the other small lessons that I learned from the Good Samaritan was the Good Samaritan, he did all the stuff that he did, knowing that the person he did it for, if they were fully conscious, if they were fully healthy, that person would not respect the work that they did. They wouldn't talk to them. They wouldn't show any kindness to them. And in fact, they would probably walk on the other side of the road to avoid them if they were fully healthy and conscious. Because the Good Samaritan didn't just simply put the guy in shade and cover the guy. He put the man on his donkey. He bandaged him up. He took him to an inn. He stayed the night to make sure the guy would survive the night. He gave money to the innkeeper. He gave 2 months worth of money to the innkeeper and said, I'm going to come back. Whatever expenses he's incurred that's past this, I will cover it. He made sure he took full ownership of this responsibility that he found himself in, even though if the person was healthy and able to speak, would not show kindness to him. And that is remarkable. That is remarkable. And so that's the goal. We are going to take ownership. We're going to show compassion. We're going to take control to make sure that we give such a good result, even though those around us may not appreciate it. And so the Good Samaritan decided to do the right thing because he knew it to be the right thing. He wanted to lavish care and compassion on this individual, and that is huge. That is huge. That is like some proper grown, mature stuff right there. Where you say, you know what, I know that you don't like me, I know that you don't care about me, but I'm still going to treat you to such a high level. I'm going to respect you to such a high level. I'm going to take care of you, even though you're so rude and want to be visceral to me. I'm going to still be true to who I am and to what I believe is right, that I'm going to go and do this for you, even though I know you're not going to appreciate it. That is amazing. And that's what I want you to take in mind, that the stuff that you're doing, sometimes you're the Good Samaritan. You're helping someone who is in such a terrible state, whereas if they were, fully healthy and conscious, they would choose to not work with you. But you're doing this lavish of love, this lavish of compassion on them because inside you know it's the right thing to do. And I want you to treat your work that way. Everything that you do, I want you to do it for yourself, do it for the love of God, do it for your own high standard of what should be done, and not just to get by. And that's who we are. That's who we're trying to be. And that's who I want to encourage you to be. I know you don't feel appreciated. I know you feel taken for granted. But I want you to stop giving power to them and bring the power back here where it belongs and say, you know what? I'm living my life for God. I'm living my life to be able to love on those around me. And I'm not going to look for people to give thanks and to give appreciation for the work that I do, but I'm going to look to do what I know is the right thing to do. And as you do that, as you work hard to do that, I promise you that your life will be the best it can be in terms of what you can control. You are choosing to do what's right. You're choosing to have a high standard of life, and you will see the results of that. That is the principle. If you work hard, you get good results. Now, it's not guaranteed because life is not guaranteed, but that's the principle. If you put the work in, you get the results. And that's what we do. We work hard, we care about people, we love on people, and we do it because we know it's the right thing to do. We do it because we have the love of God in us. And that is why we do these things. So, like I said, identify what audience you're actually dealing with right now. Find your actual audience that you're looking for. I want you to find a way to have a little bit of space so that way they can miss you, get some distance. And I want you to evaluate how good you are actually right now. Sometimes you're not as good as you think you are, and you need to increase your value. You need to be able to give more value where that person or that audience cannot live without you. Continue to educate them on what it is that you're doing. Appreciate what you do enough so that way they can see that you value yourself and they value it too. And also do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, regardless if someone's watching or not. Regardless if someone's going to appreciate it or not, continue to do the right thing to the highest standard you can. Keep your head up and keep moving forward. I'm Rick Roberts, and you stay classy. Bye.